We do have, the XP and rep bars added in there for the new UI. They've added a few things to the edit mode. There's now a wyvern art instead of just the griffin art. And if you look at this here, this is like the summary panel where you can take a look at your dragon riding as well as the 4 major factions. It's a real slick panel, to be honest with you. It's actually quite nicely designed, all of that. The new UI is looking good. I think soon enough I want to do a video or something that's like, hey, can I recreate my UI in the new system without add-ons, or, how many add-ons can I cut out? Honestly,
not that many.
Probably not that many. It depends.
Well,
it depends.
It's fundamentally about what sacrifices you're willing to make.
Yeah,
I think.
Will we get good... Because currently we don't have filters for buffs and stuff. And it's like, we would kind of need that. It's like, there's a way, right? And hey, I'm sure this is the kind of thing that, in Jeff and his head. Jeff Lou's, I think, leading the UI stuff.
Yes, yep.
And it's a gargantuan effort because... you might just think, oh, this is just new art and panels. I'm fairly sure they're re-architecting these things in the back end to be modern, where, a lot of the WoW UI stuff is, it's just very old. It's very, very old. But if they could just take the personal resource display, and you could almost make that an official weak aura. If you add in just the right options for players, and then, make it so that it's... Because right now, it is in screen space, of course, like all UI elements are, but it just hovers underneath your character. So if you move your camera out, you'll, of course, see that the personal resource display sticks under your character's feet. I think for some people, though, they would rather that would be a static on-screen element. So I think we just need a little checkbox, the personal resource display, basically in advanced mode, with per spec, just stuff done. And I think, if they do that, perhaps in a patch for this expansion, then for what a lot of people use, like, sure, it'll probably never be as crispy and custom as, like, Luxthros or Afinar or, any of the weak aura creators out there, but I think for a lot of people it would do the job. Because I think a lot of people, I like Elf. I think it's a pretty incredible piece of development.
It is.
Right? So mad props and respect to that. I think, though, there's certainly a thing where, stylistically, take this Dragon Isle summary. I mean, imagine it has the sort of default transparent black background of, the elf panels and stuff.
Yeah,
it would not look as fantasy forward. And I think what a lot of people would like is, their World of Warcraft UI to look completely official, but have the core things that they feel like they would need from elf.
Yeah.
And I suppose just that's the way that it is.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing where, even playing, it feels really weird playing on alpha without add-ons, or betas right now without add-ons. And obviously add-ons working now. I'm not sure what way development is because I haven't checked into them, but I'm actively going out of the way without playing with them. But then I'm looking and going, oh man, playing Feral without weak auras is such a worse experience. Just because of the way stuff actually kind of is on your screen. Where even the fact that weak auras put put basically enemy debuff status around the same place where your actual resources are, then it means I don't have to move my eye to look at multiple different places to see what's actually there. And it feels like a nerf, but it also feels like game design in a sense, where you're kind of changing, it's a very small part of game design. But literally, it's the same with controls. And this is something that Nintendo talked about fairly recently, I believe, about how they orchestrate their control schemes on, their games to make sure, people with extremely small hands, like toddlers and stuff, can play. And the voice done that. Where the voice orchestrates everything where this isn't for the average person. This is good for the average person, but will work and be comfortable for, children and stuff. Because they literally have differently shaped hands than actual adults, obviously, because they haven't grown yet. And that's kind of thing where all of those little tiny parts are game design. And that's the thing where you even think about that when it comes to the lack of people using add-ons and the lack of social acceptance of it in FF. Whereas if you had the equivalent, if you ran Cactbot and Cactbot was perfect, which is the equivalent to DBM, it would be a very different game.
Yeah, it would be.
Instead of looking, if you had... I'm not sure how Cactbot could actually get this outside of maybe using some network data, maybe shows positioning or whatever else. But, I'm thinking of Aemene's Chorus XO, which is the direction Like if it just pinged up here, do this, I think that would be like, that would make it worse. Because you don't go through the process of checking what the boss is going to do yourself. And that's just streamlining it, making it easier. So there is like an argument where the fact that I have to look at my enemy's nameplate or my enemy's target frame to see if, see how long Rip has left. And then I have to look somewhere else to see how much energy I have or how many combo points I have. Then that would be like, that's different to it all being in the center of my screen because a weak aura does it. And that is literally the weak aura makes it easier, but it also like isn't the way it's intended.
Yeah.
In that kind of weird way. But also, if everyone plays it, then what way do you balance it around it? Do you balance around weak auras existing? And then we get into this whole massive conversation of like, do you design around what's expected, or do you design around what's like ideal or what people are going to do? Because actually, I have a decent example of this where both me and Luke were talking about like our Wrath experience of like leveling through stuff. And basically, everyone that I've partied with so far in Wrath and everyone he's partied with to do quests with have had Questy. And have had Questy reporting like in chat whenever quest steps are done. And I've never used Questy because I actually want to like have the experience of the classic leveling of obviously Wrath classic leveling is a lot easier because you're comparatively a lot stronger than you would have been an expansion or 2 expansions ago. That's like the first thing I noticed was, oh my god, this is so much easier now. I can kill 2 mobs at once, amazing. But like that's the thing where you have to design as people making a product and something you're selling, you have to design for no add-ons. But what if everyone uses your add-ons? And then you run into this tremendous problem of, what do you do? What do you do? Force everyone to play the ideal way? No. But then
I feel for them on that one.
Yeah, for sure.